Welcome to the best thing this week, presented by the Fandom Foundry Podcast Network. You heard the music. You know, I'm Todd Oxtra, here to talk about the best things this week. But you may not know the person I'm going to talk to. If you're watching on the YouTubes, you see this person. If you're not, I will introduce him. And that is Mr. Matt Kiehl. He is a podcast veteran. Matt and I were talking before this started where we went back to. We assume it's probably around 2014 where Matt and I first met, but then we were quickly became podcast compadres in 2015. We've been through many journeys throughout the years. When Matt first met me, I had a young son. He is now a college sophomore. When I met Matt, he had no children, was not married, and now he is, and he has a young son. And how old is your son, Matt?
He's 2.5.
2.5. I couldn't remember if he was 3 or 2. So right in the middle. You do like the halves until a certain age. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping I don't end up like if you remember the movie City Slickers. I just don't want to end up like Billy Crystal's mom going, "Oh, he's 468 months today."
Or he's 16 3/4.
No.
I mean, my son is dangerously close to leaving teenage to the double-digit 20s. So
yeah,
scary things. But you know what? Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Off the dome, like a couple months ago, Reba pulled out the decimal point, and I looked at her. I'm like, "Who the hell?" She goes, "He's like 2.4." I'm like,
that's what parents do.
Just
they're obsessed with
age
and
that's
things.
A mother can do that.
Yeah, true.
A mother can do that.
You do get it. It's interesting as a parent. You do start to see like the roles and the adaptation as a person before parenthood and then after. Even in this late age, my wife with dealing with a college kid versus my approach. I'm like, if that baby bird hasn't flown by now, good luck.
Yeah.
And don't get mad when he doesn't return your phone calls.
Oh man. Oh yeah. I'm not looking forward to any of that.
Because you got time. Enjoy what you got right now.
Luckily, well, see, the thing is, it's just I'm at that point. I'm worried about who's going to react worse. Are my wife and I going to be ugly crying on the sofa, going, "Our son doesn't love us anymore"? Because I'm just as worried about that as she is. Like I know there's probably
you'll get better over the years once you realize your kid is not the sweet gem that they always are, because then you realize they can actually do crappy things, and you're like, wait, you meant to do that, versus being the cherubs they are now. They don't have ill intentions. They just are who they are.
He's 2.5. He exhibits some villain behavior. I will be real with it, but like I'm not going to say
cute.
That. Oh God,
so they survive it.
He's adorable. Yeah, I don't care if I'm biased. My son is cute as hell.
He is absolutely. You guys are beautiful. I saw the recent picture. You guys are a beautiful family. I'm so happy for you, Matt. But so Matt and I finally met in person. We were online friends. We talked a lot. Finally met each other in Minneapolis. His sister is in Minnesota, so we all met up at a very cool video game bar. But you think we actually played any video games over there?
Absolutely not.
We had an amazing conversation with friends, Matt's sister and her friend. And we just had so much fun.
The best part, and my sister brought her friend because she was worried she would have no one to talk to. And the thing is, I think both of them talked to you more than they talked to each other.
Or I even got to talk to you.
Yeah. And then the best part of that was like for months after that, like my sister's going, that Todd guy, he's really cool. I go, yeah, I'm pretty good at meeting people on the internet.
He's not a secret stalker. He's not a murderer.
He's just a nerd like me. And it's great.
He's the guy that girls didn't talk to much, but he wasn't weird. I will talk about maybe there's a dating podcast in the future we can talk about that. But
oh god, I got some stories there. Anyway,
yeah. So Matt and I go back. Matt is one of the most interesting people I know. We always have a great time. We can talk about anything. We tangent, and it just goes crazy. We even talked about 25 minutes before this actually happened, which is absolutely hilarious.
I thought you were going to pull a Sean Capri and just start.
Oh, we're starting now. We're going live. Well, we're not live tonight, which is good because I felt like, we don't need the distractions. But we are here to talk about the best things this week. So, Matt, before we kick this off, we talked about this. Do I need to add any caveats to your Matthew Kiehl or anything, because I know you've kind of pulled back some things as a dad.
The only thing I really do now is it's a podcast called Freereeling It, where my co-host Jesse and we pick a movie, we watch it, and then we get together and talk about it. The goal is to have an episode out every 2 weeks, but he's super busy in Sacramento. Yeah. I'm super busy in Philly. But the one thing we've always wanted to do is have fun talking about movies. Predominantly, we do a lot more arty farty stuff. Sure. But recently we've been on this trajectory where a movie has to lead into another. So the most recent one we did, and I'm actually drawing a blank on what it was. Oh, it was Death Becomes Her.
Oh, wow.
And we got there through Kurt Russell from Tombstone, how he and Goldie Hawn are connected. And then now we're headed into Halloween Season of the Witch because the same cinematographer did that one.
So Robert Zemeckis, I couldn't remember who directed Death Becomes Robert Zemeckis. I just love Robert Zemeckis. He's all over with his filmography. It's fantastic. And then you talk about Season of the Witch, talk about a pivot from the first two films, and then it just stands alone as just a unique film. And I've always loved it. Those masks and the sound and the commercial, and has so many iconic character actors in it that you're just if that guy's in it, you're in for a ride because he gives 120%.
And so I've only ever seen the first two Halloween films. And I didn't see them until the 2010s.
Okay. I don't think I've seen the first two, quite honestly, which is just sad because I probably should.
Oh yeah. I didn't. So horror was severely banned in my house. And I think that's predominantly my fault because when Thriller came out, I ran out of the room screaming.
Yeah.
So, and I was 3, 4? So naturally my mom would react to be like, oh, okay, never a horror for this.
Matt does not like horror. Yeah.
But then, you know what one of my favorite movies as a kid was? Watership Down.
Oh, horrific rabbits rabbits are horrible because they make screaming noises.
Yeah, it's just just neo-fascist ideas all over that film. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to watch it. The show's called Freereeling It. It's available anywhere you get pods. We don't do YouTube. We don't do
at the end, and there will be in the notes, so you can check that out as well. It will be I guarantee an entertaining experience. So check out that. But before we end the podcast with that we actually talk about what's in this podcast.
Yeah, we should start this one.
So the good part about this, we're actually recording. Sorry to spoil the myth. We're recording this on October 30th, so it's still spooky time for me. And I actually do have the spooky background. So you know what, folks? This is going to come out the week after, but it's that time. I'm still in that mood. I'm wearing a shirt that says, "This is bullshit." So we're in it to win it.
God,
there you go. I love a good pun. Dad jokes for days. So there you go. So let's get into this. So the best things we watched. So Matt, I'm gonna talk about a movie that I'd heard about. I finally checked out because you'll get a kick out of this. I got 3 vaccinations on Monday. I
Love
got
that.
a man of a certain age. I'm like, oh, I need to follow up for my shingles vaccination.
Oh yeah.
I need the pneumonia vaccination.
Oh
And I
yeah.
also
Yeah.
need the Hep B vaccination, which I'm like, I thought it was good. So it was like the triple whammy. And I'm like, are you sure I need all these 3 right away? Can I not come back? She goes, no, you'd be fine. I was
So
hit like a
shingles,
rock.
I knew. I think pneumonia is relatively recent, and
Yes.
then because I'm in healthcare, but I'm not like
Yeah.
I'm not a nurse. I think Hep B is relatively new too, because I know everyone gets a Hep C vaccine. It
Yeah.
takes 2 shots.
Yeah.
But
So to be honest, I have never really had a bad reaction. I mean, I've sometimes I feel, oh, okay, but I'm good.
mm,
This knocked me on my butt, so I'm like, I'm gonna take a sick day because I felt so sore. I was like so miserable. My wife also got 2 vaccines, and she was not doing great, but she was okay to go. So I decided, I'm gonna sit on the couch and just focus on something fun to distract me, and that brought me to a movie called Heart Eyes. This is on Netflix, and this is a unique hybrid film that I'd heard about, but I'm like, how did they pull it off? So, Matt, this is essentially a rom-com mixed with a slasher film. It's very unique. It's very interesting, very weird.
what a
But has a
statement.
lot of I know it has a lot of heart. It's very unique. Even the trailer. And let me just share the trailer in the background while we're talking about this, so you can kind of take a look at it as we're talking.
I
It
mean,
it, it
I'm
plays it out
looking at
like it's a meet cute.
I'm looking at the cast, and I know that like my teenage sister's self, well, my sister's teenage self, because she's 40, um, would be really happy to see Devon Sawa.
Oh, I know, and I couldn't figure out and then I finally figured out who he was.
Mhm.
So this movie has all the tropes of like it's a meet cute, and they're so funny. They won't get along, will they? Won't they? And then all of a sudden, the Hard Eyes Killer shows up. He kills on Valentine's Day. He kills couples, and basically he's going around the country doing these things. And this movie's pretty gruesome too, but it
Right.
does a great job of balancing like the meet cute plus the don't die cute.
Yeah.
And then it's
Don't die
very
cute,
well
die ugly.
exactly. So it's very entertaining, but it has a couple things I'm just like, I don't believe it. But I was along for the ride. I was highly entertained. I thought it was very fun. With horror films, kind of most in this realm of slasher films, you kind of know what to expect. But I think horror's gotten a little bit more complex, more layered, where we're getting a really unique experience of think of like Long Legs and Barbarian and even the Black Phone. And this
Mhm.
is kind of more of the traditional, but they still are adding on a layer of the rom-com. So I appreciate that. So it was a fun watch, very breezy. There were some deaths where I'm like, oh, don't show that. And they did. So I mean, going to a winery, Matt, when you're making the grapes into wine, you don't want to be in the thing that squishes the grapes. And I'll leave it there. So, and you get to see that, which is not great. So it's a fun movie. I wouldn't expect to be like blown away, but I did like the twist. The characters were fun. But the ending was like, really? But that's okay. Sometimes you
Yeah.
see it, sometimes you don't. You're either in or you're not. It's you gotta hold back and there are some gruesome deaths, and it's
Yeah.
just like, oh my god, how did they do it? And like, you're watching right there,
Yeah. Yeah.
a heart. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm looking
and
at
I
this,
give
and I'm
my
like,
heart to this.
if this movie even came close to landing, it would ruin it for me.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like,
I
yeah, I would
appreciated
want
what it was.
yeah, I would
Yes,
want this
so
to be like
that is my
so
best thing this week, and what I saw. But Matt, when I see the movie, you're gonna talk about.
oh
I've heard
man.
about this movie, and I'm
This
so scared. I'm just like even scared to hear about it. But let's talk about your
so
best thing you watched this week.
it's spooky season. I normally don't participate in Halloween, because not because like I don't like horror or anything. I just don't care about Halloween. I never have. It is what it is. Um but but there's a movie that came out in 2007 that I saw on the Criterion channel, and I'm like, oh, we're firing this up. So it's called Teeth, and it's from 2007. It's directed by Mitchell Lichtenstein, and it centers around, I feel like this is a myth, but it centers around the myth of, it's a folk tale of vagina dentata. And
Yeah, so that was the term
I'm not going to dig any further into that. Just
by the way, folks, this is an adult podcast. If your kids are listening,
yeah,
tell them to earmuffs. We got to do the earmuffs, Matt. You're a dad now. You got to do the earmuffs, you know.
Yeah, it's true. But so it centers around a young woman who is kind of a religious fundamentalist, but she's one of those people who's preaching abstinence in high school.
Is this
and
an ironic?
I think the way it landed for people in 2007 was like, this just seems like it seems like the parts don't fit together, but like, you know, anybody that sort of knows how just women across the world are treated, like this does seem more like a feminist empowerment type of horror. And I'm not really going to speak on that because look at me, I'm not the person to talk about.
We are not that.
No, we can't do that.
We can only get a little bit more empathy from this experience. That's all we can do.
And frankly, I've always appreciated the way that this film does the take the power back stance with like sexual assault, and basically problematic men. And I think that it's way better than anybody wants to give it credit for. It's not a masterpiece. Not here to say that, but I do like this film a lot. It is pretty intense. But if it's 94 minutes, it's an intense 94 minutes. If you are interested, I highly say check it out, but don't go into it expecting a masterpiece. I would say based on Hard Eyes, I would say like it's probably a bit more serious than Hard Eyes.
Well, I was going to say it's not like a joke. It's not like one of those spoofy films.
No, it is
actually kind of treated as serious as you can have the situation going on in a horror film.
And I don't know how to say the lead character. I don't know how to say the lead actor's name. I want to say Weixler, but Jess Weixler really does act her ass off in this film. Like it is fun. She does a phenomenal job in this role. And I think
I was watching the trailer. At the end, it says every rose has its thorns. So I'm like, oh, they went there.
Yeah, they went there.
Poison you.
Yeah. I mean, I remember being with my ex-wife and seeing the trailer for this film and going, oh, I'm watching that. And she's like, why? I go, you're gonna tell me that doesn't look fun? We went to the theater and we both had a blast.
Oh,
so
you actually saw it in the theater?
Yeah.
And so was this a revisit that you just?
Yeah, this is a revisit. Yeah, I've seen.
Where did you watch that? So I saw Hard Eyes on Netflix. So people want to check it out.
So it's on Criterion Channel right now. That's where I watched it.
So that's a streaming or on some type of.
Yeah, you could probably rent it on Amazon. I've go to justwatch.com and that tells you where anything is streaming.
Okay. Well, very good, folks. So there's two recommendations.
Hard Eyes and
you choose. You choose. One's romantic, one's not so romantic. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I don't judge. I only offer options.
We offer options.
Buyer beware if you want. That's
we are taking you across the river. We're not telling you to drink the water.
Why judge when you can just offer recommendations? Yeah. There we go. So now let's get into the best things we played. So I was hoping, and Matt, I always say this, I'm like the last person in the world still using GameFly.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to get Chronos in the mail, and I'm like, it's been 7 days since you say you sent it. Where is it? And they're like, oh, we'll send you a replacement, and if it shows up. So finally got it today. You think I had time to start it up the day before
Absolutely not.
Halloween, which is just a
Absolutely not.
shame because I was hoping, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the weekend before, I'll try it out. This looks kind of like a Dead Space Resident Evil type of game. Didn't. So you know what I played instead that I bought for $5 on the Nintendo eShop? The Mummy.
A good time is what you did.
Demastered. Oh my god. So I'm going to show what this game looks like. So if you've never seen this game, it is way forward, doing its best with a movie that didn't deserve this type of game.
Right.
I have never watched The Mummy with Tom Cruise, and I don't know what's happening in this game. It looks like Russell Crowe's like your handler.
Wait, there was a Mummy with Tom Cruise.
Oh,
I was thinking it was the Brendan Fraser one because I've never actually played the game.
No, there is the Dark Universe. Matt was supposed to launch with Tom Cruise and the Mummy, and then you had that like Dracula Unbound, and you're gonna have this movie.
Oh
and
wow!
It fell apart horribly with the Mummy with Tom Cruise. So I've never watched it. I've heard it's horrible, but now I got to watch this because I don't know what's happening in this game. I don't know what is like canon, and I don't know why I'm a soldier killing things with like a heavy duty weapon. But man, oh man, it's fun to play.
Yeah,
and this has that way forward, polished 16-bit feel. They make Shantae, they make other games.
This looks wild.
Oh, it's an amazing game, and it's so fun. And that's the Mummy lady from the movie. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find the Mummy trailer with Tom Cruise, just so we can compare and contrast if you think that they are similar or opposites. So let's see what it is.
It feels like we are looking at the ET game and going to compare it to the movie.
I would say so. Here we go. Let's go with this trailer, folks. You're watching in real time. We're gonna bring it up. Let's go wide. We are in widescreen, Matt. So this is Tom Cruise. This movie trailer came out.
It's the opening to Demon Souls.
Yeah, it's like, so this is like 2017, I guess, 2016. So Tom Cruise, kind of foundering and where he was going to headed. So they found a sarcophagus in the desert. Tom Cruise is on a aircraft carrier. I don't know what his job is. Maybe he's a professor. We don't know. And it looks like things are going to go well. So folks, we're watching the trailer online, so you should be on YouTube to see this. But essentially we're watching this in real time, and Tom Cruise knows something is wrong. And all of a sudden we see a plague of
locusts,
bats, maybe
or bats. Okay, I'm guessing here.
And apparently them unearthing this sarcophagus of a mummy has released plagues.
I mean,
now falling out of an aircraft like Mission Impossible. Or no,
I feel like there's 60 years of movies about this sort of thing. Maybe we should just leave it alone.
I mean, if you said somebody pitch me a mummy movie and it's Tom Cruise in a military aircraft, and this is where we're at so far, I would have not guessed this.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, and he was a body bag? We thought he was dead? Oh my God. Is he the mummy? Is he dead,
no.
man? We don't know.
Is he the mummy? Oh, I kind of hope
that'd be a great twist.
That would be the best twist.
But now we look at their sarcophagus, and guess what? We're going to get a sexy mummy, Matt. And we do get a sexy mummy. So
with
there we go.
Irises.
Oh, yes, yes. And then Tom Cruise is swimming, and he's going through a bus. And it's still in the desert, apparently, with water. I don't know what we're doing. So, Russell Crowe is in the movie.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, but he's also in the game, which is great. He's like your handler. So I'm like, it's like a 16-bit Russell Crowe. And yeah, folks, I need to see this movie now because I really can't really appreciate the game unless I know the canon, right, Matt? Isn't that what we all say? If you don't
whatever
know the
you have
story,
to tell yourself.
what's the point? Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this: that movie looks like an Uncharted ripoff. Not necessarily like for the content of like Nathan Drake doing his colonialist shenanigans, but it looks like the people who were behind it like
Imagine Uncharted
watch
with mummies.
playthroughs of like the 3 main Uncharted games, because this is probably
Yes.
before 4 came out, and if 4 was out,
Yeah.
whatever, chronology be damned. But it looks like they looked at all of that and said, let's just make that a movie. And then they got something that's I would bet dollars to donuts is probably inferior to the Tom Holland Uncharted film that came out.
Probably. And it's like,
which I've not seen.
Yeah. And it is funny because this is like back in the day when Uwe Boll had all those video game licenses.
Oh, yeah.
Movies. This is like, who do you give it? This is like McG. Hey, McG, make us a mummy. You're done making the Charlie's Angels movie. Make us a mummy. So, yeah. So this era of the Universal Monsters Dark Universe ended. And apparently that's going to come back in a different light. But, Matt, so this game, it has that amazing retro feel with a game that's updated to a modern age. It is a Metroidvania. It is basically, you have the map, you unlock it. It's got the kind of like you scroll the weapon where you're shooting. You eventually get your first power up. It looked just like Metroid. You go into this room, you see an orb, you unlock grenades. And it's like, even though you're like even though you're like a nameless,
it looks like you're a knight in the game. Like the graphics look like almost knight-like. It's just like,
yeah,
knight with grenade. I mean, Monty Python gave us the holy hand grenade of Antioch, so maybe
it feels like this. Yeah,
I mean,
if Monty Python made a mummy movie, maybe they would make this. Probably not.
No, they wouldn't.
No, this is like, what is it? The folks that make like the Super Troopers. This is the Super Troopers version of the Mummy.
Well, I forget. It's something. I feel like it's
Dread. What is it? Dread. I don't know.
I feel like it's something lizard broken lizard.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I think that's
Lonely Lizard. It's kind of like the Lonely Island plus something lizard.
Yeah, broken.
Yeah. And by the way, did you know they made a Hunchback movie? But let's move on. They did.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
No, but still, like I said, I saw somebody talking to me in the game. And it was like a little pop-up 16-bit. I'm like, is that Russell Crowe? So that made me think, Russell Crowe's in this. Oh my God. They digitized a 16-bit Russell Crowe. I mean, I feel like we're blessed to get something like that.
Yeah.
But there we go. Best $5 I've spent in a long time. This is great. If you own a video game console and you like these like Metroidvania 16-bit likes, it is very fun. This game, there's a lot of interesting like they own a property and the game is far better than it should be based on the license. This is one of those. Yeah. So I like that. So I appreciate that. So Matt, when I look at what you're going to talk about,
I'm going to talk about plenty of games that you hate.
I was going to say there's a lot of games that I know you've talked about in the past.
Yeah.
So let's just get into it really quick.
So like I've been super tired after work lately. So normally trying to play something new is a challenge. So I've been going back to an old favorite, Binding of Isaac. I play that a lot. I could talk about it for a very long time. I think I'll probably not do that here. Hopefully I will have a chance in the future where I have more time to talk with you about it, but I do love that game. I think it's one of the best roguelikes ever made.
The first, it goes back very far.
Yeah, and I started playing it in like 2011.
I need to see maybe if my son would be interested in that game. Because my son has gotten into many roguelites, Souls-like, so he likes a challenge.
It's really
when he's done with classes, of course.
Yeah, like it's a twin stick shooter. That's a way to look at it. It gets very bullet helly.
It's a very unique aesthetic. It's got an interesting story.
I think
it is different.
It's filtered. It's filtered through the biblical story, but also you see a lot of like I actually relate to it quite a bit, but I've had to explain this to my wife, and it ended up being a way longer conversation than she or I were ready for. But yeah, Binding of Isaac is one of my favorite games of all time. Hades 2, very, very modern in the roguelite space. It's a sequel that is as good as the first game. I think it builds a lot. It's not just like a reskin or a polish. It is a different game. And it's a different game that it require the only real prior knowledge it requires of the player is I'm going to say playing the first game, but you don't have to have beaten the first game. You don't have to have gotten very far.
Yeah.
I think if you don't have a reference from the first game, you will be lost for a while in terms of the game.
It builds,
yeah,
but it doesn't mean you're missing something.
correct.
Or you feel like I have to start from scratch, which is always like, oh, I can't miss the first one.
It's a tough line.
Yeah,
it's a real tough
yeah.
line to walk in this game. Like without having to, you don't really have to know the first game, and it doesn't really do previously in the universe of Hades.
It's
like
two different stories, right?
They're two different stories,
which is great.
They're in the same universe. They're related, and you're getting both stories as you play. And Supergiant is really good at telling stories in games.
I mean, you go back to where they started.
Bastion,
and that was always a part of their game. The narrator building upon it was so clever, and they've done that concept in a sports game. They did it in a weird sci-fi realm. They did it in more of a RPG kind of centric, and then they landed, and then they did a sports game too, which is found very interesting. Never played it.
Then
they entered in.
That is their best game.
Interesting, and I'm just like,
Fire is their best game.
I'm curious how it plays out, but it's more of a sports game. And then they entered in this like mythology, and it's a roguelike. So as you repeat, you get more of the story. You build into this, and I love it. I wish I was a guy who liked roguelikes, because I am very impatient, and I just want to get so far, save, come back, and keep going versus do a run. I'm not a run guy. So maybe in the arcade, but even a kid as an arcade, I'm like, I get so far, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, like I mean, I think if so, I would say to you, as someone who has on your many shows said you don't care for the roguelike games. The only ones I would tell you to stick with are the Hades games, because the problem that I think the majority of gamers at large have with the genre is learning is not enough. You have to, and like with Hades, regardless of where you die, like it's usually 2 or 3 deaths, and you're getting something new back at the beginning. So it's just like, oh, this is the thing that I have impetus to go out and keep trying to push for. And that's its brilliance as a roguelike, because a lot of the time with roguelikes in general, you start from nothing. And like Binding of Isaac suffers from this too. If you want to actually quote unquote beat the game, it's different now than it was when it launched, mainly because they've added 5 expansions to it, and those expansions, you don't see that expansion content till you've progressed in prior stuff. And Binding of Isaac is hidden, a lot of its stuff is hidden behind a veil of mystery, and if you're not willing to explore that and really go after it, that's when you start to go like, what am I doing this for? And that's a tough thing. And this is, I mean, that's also one of the reasons, like I've always said that like a story in a game is not as good as a story in a book. Because there's a whole lot of things that books have that you can interact with, even though there is a large part of our society as a whole that thinks books are just telling you a story, you're not interacting with it, and that's patently false. I'm not going to have
I believe it's the story, but it's what you create in your head. You create your own. I bet if you told two people read the same book, explain their voice of a character would be different.
100%.
their look, the
Mhm.
world, how you imagine it. So that would be it's like it's your own personal experience would lead into a description, a feel, all those things, even
Mhm.
interpretation of like what the text means
Yep.
and how you interpret it. So I totally get
Character
that.
motivation,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and even your personal experiences can lead you like what mood
all
you're
of
in
it.
when you read the book.
Yeah.
Are you frustrated? Are you tired? Did you even pick up on that? Because oh, I'm reading it before I go to bed. I had a bad night and now I'm falling asleep. Oh,
Well,
I'll
like,
pick it up because what did I miss?
I
Yeah.
mean, if you truly engage with any sort of art, and all we've talked about thus far has been art,
Hmm.
every your experience plays into it if you actually engage. If you just
Yeah.
want to be told a story, you're going to get so little out of everything. And that's unfortunate. I did so the game I want to focus on a lot
Sure. So
is
I would say Hades, folks, if you're interested in Greek mythology, you like a challenge and you like a story that evolves as you play, but a loss is part of the gameplay. Hades will be an amazing experience. I would say at this
also,
point though, Hades 2 is only on Switch 2 and PC. So
yeah,
that is
but also like
challenge. Yeah.
also with Hades, put God mode on. Just do it. You don't need to be hardcore
So
here.
it's added a difficulty lens. They've added difficulty now?
No.
Like,
No,
oh,
it's if it God mode in Hades is a brilliant thing for roguelikes too,
okay.
because it's a way that like if you get stuck, you start getting damage resistance if you have God mode
Mhm,
on. So like you can get up to like I think 60% damage resistance,
mhm.
but like it increases by 2% every time you die. So you start at like
Okay.
100%.
So it's adapting to the person playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is amazing because I do
And
feel that like I
it
wanna
doesn't
be competitive. I just suck at times, and I
yeah.
wanna get better. I wanna feel good about making progress, so I don't feel like, "Ugh, this is my 85th run, and I'm only at, like,
And
the
I'm still
2nd
getting to the
part of
same
the
boss
2nd
and
level." Yeah, and it's
yeah.
like you just feel like, "Why am I doing this?" That's where I felt like in Hades, I was kinda the original one. I was bumping my head against the wall. I'm like, "Do I really
God
wanna
God mode
do
exists
this?"
there too. So if you felt
Oh,
like
so they've
going back
updated it?
yeah, no,
Okay.
it was always there, just no one talked about it
I
because
just
hard
yeah, I
because
didn't
people
realize
because
that.
gamers have to be gamers. No, that so
Okay.
what
I
I
like
love
that though. That means it's giving me a lifeline
mhm,
versus a you need to get good. And
yeah,
that's I could talk a million years about get good, but we don't have to
yeah.
do that. Let's talk about the
Well,
game you want to talk about, Matt.
so the game I want to talk about is Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion. It's a
Is it the sequel?
sequel to a 2019 game called Daemon X Machina.
Mhm.
Yeah. I absolutely so one of the things that because I've only predominantly done video game podcasts,
Mhm.
one of the things that I am a super fan of, but it never really gets talked about too much. I've tried to talk about it when I can. I love giant robots. I love mech stuff.
I remember
Don't
your excitement about Gundam
oh
and you talked
yeah.
about
Oh
it
yeah.
and I think you've done some models too, right?
Yes, I did finally
That's
jump
a
on the
slippery slope.
oh man, I now have a backlog of 15 Gunpla I need to put together.
Yeah.
I'm really just hoping that Aton really gets into Lego and we can start going that way.
Yep.
Um,
Building. Yep.
but Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion, if you want like to put it in the shortest hand possible, if you want the Gundam experience, the first game gives you that. It is very fast, very anime aesthetic. It does Armored Core um pre-Armored Core 6 really well. It's faster, it's more fun, it's more dynamic, and I had a lot more fun with that than I ever and I never really played an Armored Core game, but I had a lot more fun
My
with Daemon
son
X.
loved Armor Core 6. He
Yeah,
he fell in love with that game.
I started it, but I haven't. It's been one of those things that like I've been so tired. It's in my backlog. It's one of those things I stare at, and I'm
I'm
like,
bad at it.
I'm going to get to
It
you.
looks
Don't you
cool though,
worry. Oh yeah, it's dope as hell. I got to the first boss. I'm like, man,
yeah,
this game rules.
and my
But
son's like, "Dad, you have to just the story is crazy," and this I'm
yeah,
like, "I believe you," and I saw him play, I'm like, "I can't do that." So I'm like, "I'm enjoying it as you play."
But so Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna make any of your community mad, Todd, but I also really loved the game Anthem. Not because it was good, because it was not a good game. However, flying around in Anthem
It felt great.
was just
I wish the game was as good as that aspect.
Honestly, playing Anthem, I was
That
working
should be an
over
Iron Man game.
I
That
was
should be the
working
engine for an Iron Man game.
don't make it a game. Don't make it around any IP. What you need to do is you need to get that, put it into No Man's Sky, and just have
Give
it
a mech
feel just have it feel like that, and it'll be another way to enjoy that masterpiece of a game. Yes, No Man's Sky is a masterpiece. Leave me alone. But Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion has the Anthem thing going for it, the Anthem movement. Still the same anime aesthetic, still the same type of story, and the same progression. I know that like after you've got through all the mission, it kind of becomes a Monster Hunter game after that, where you're trying to harvest specific mech pieces to make a build. But I'm only a few missions in because time, but I absolutely love it so much. It is so much fun. I have watched a lot of people play further than I have, not just like end game stuff. I've seen like progression. It does get a little body horror-y because
unexpected.
So it's good for spooky season, because part of
sure
any mech fiction is kind of about bodies at some point. Most of it, like Gundam, is kind of the what happens when you send your children to war sort of thing.
Like Ender's Game.
Yeah,
like
Evangelion. Evangelion is like, where does the machine end and Shinji begin? Are they separate? Father of the year,
his son.
Father of the year, Genbo.
Son trying to make his dad proud, and he's like, go out
he's
there.
He's like, yeah.
Angels,
and then he doesn't,
demons,
and make him proud and ends the world. Like, it's weird.
And then Pacific Rim, where you actually have a huge mech suit, and you've got these two people working independently. So it's a genre where even I go back to Robot Jocks. Even that is
God. This is why I love you, Todd. No one pulls out the Robot Jocks.
And that movie was far better than it deserved, based on probably a dime store budget, and it was still impressive.
Yeah, like how did that story's terrible, but I love it.
Yeah, exactly. So it made me think about this game when it was first announced, because this was kind of a Switch exclusive, and I think that console did the game wrong, and it kind of got tarnished. Yeah, it kind of tarnished when it got released further. I mean, obviously it was a big audience to go into, but it probably wasn't the console that would perform best and reach out to the right audience.
Well, so if I remember correctly, this is Marvelous, and I feel like they have an RPG attachment to Nintendo. Don't quote me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel like they have some sort of attachment, and then they probably showed them this. And they're like, oh, we'll do an anime mech game. But it eventually did come to PC. And
about 6 months later, and I think then it came to console later.
And then I think the only console it's not on is PlayStation.
No, it is on so the Scion game is on every console. The
first one is not
the original. The original is Daemon X Machina, Switch. So okay, that's interesting, because
I mean, I think it's one of those things that'll show up eventually. When it does, whenever. But it is the second game is really, really fun. It is kind of a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like this one in particular does its tutorialization really well. It's not like we're gonna put you in a blank arena and teach you how to do things. It does that at like the very beginning, but you're in the middle of a tutorial mission as that happens, and then it kind of takes off its first set of leashes, and then lets you sort of start doing combat how you want to do combat. As you take things out, they drop weapons, and you start picking rudimentary loadouts based on that. I think it's a fun game. It's fantastic. It's very colorful, and
I better show it versus just talk about it, because
yeah, like
words can only paint the picture.
this stuff is my jam. I love it so much.
It looks really good compared probably to the original Switch version that you saw.
Mhm.
And yeah, getting, shot out. This is maybe a story trailer, but it looks like this is actual gameplay too. So that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you get a tether. That's very neat. Yeah. So how's the balance between like story and gameplay?
Story feels kind of sparse where I'm at right now.
Okay.
I have, like, because I'm not, on a game show, and I don't really have to keep up like I used to. I tend to just I'm not afraid of spoilers either, so I will kind of like look at full stories or full like mission playthroughs just to see what happens. So it goes really hard. Like, each mission goes really hard combat wise, in my experience. Story
What's
is
the length of this game to not scare people away?
I think there's like 50 missions. I think it's not like you're getting 12 chapters and you're out. I feel like this could be a 40-hour game total.
Oh, wow.
If you just want to just do the story, I feel like it's a 40-hour game.
Okay. So a lot there if you want to put into it.
Yeah, you'll get a lot. I feel like, if I remember correctly, the narrative shifts midway through. So if you're a person who, like me, tends to try and see what's there even while you were playing, just because you get a few missions ahead doesn't necessarily mean you know what's coming. And I think that's cool. I think that's the brilliance of this studio. Like, they do that well. The first game went some places. I don't want to spoil it. But the first game went some places, and you're like, and then at the end you kind of get like a what? But it's not like a M. Night Shyamalan. Like, they were just in modern times the entire time. No,
exactly.
It's really
they weren't really mechs all the time. They were just cardboard. It was just in your mind.
Yeah.
You were wearing a cardboard box.
It was Costume Quest.
It was Costume Quest. Oh, absolutely. Oh my god, I love Costume Quest.
Right?
Where the kid in the box suit becomes an
so good, so good,
amazing. Yeah, Double Fine needs to really highlight that game around the holidays, and they don't.
Nope.
Xbox, what are you doing? Oh well, Matt, I think we need to pivot to the best things we listen to.
Okay.
So
one of my things is going to come back later, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Absolutely. So this is just silly Todd. So this is going to sound really dumb. So I'm not naive. I'm just not informed. So my best thing this week is I finally discovered Ghost. So not because I'd not heard of them, I'm not aware of them. It's the fact that I never really looked into it. I saw the aesthetic. I'm like, okay, cool, neat. I know there's a big fandom. They become one of the biggest things now in the last 10 years. So then I watched a video. Well, I watched a video kind of like how they came about. So essentially a Norwegian Scandinavian guy really looked into, he wanted to create a kind of persona within the realm of hard rock, metal, a little bit of pop, a little thing.
But they're a metal band.
Yeah, and then forming around like imagery and like more of a drama. So I think of almost like if Kiss was recreated in 2021 or something like that, kind of a persona, stage presence.
I mean, that's really what they're doing. That's
exactly. So I was like, because I wasn't 100% sure. So I learned about the different iterations, the different bands, the person was really in, and he finally found something. And then once he found it, he then decided to really build it out. Every album was the art was themed with like a Salem's Lot kind of cover for the first album, poured into different aesthetics, but he also then would then take the lead singer, who was like a pope of horror.
Yep.
He was big. The guy grew up with some very anti-religious view because of some poor treatment because of religion, which then meant he was going to use religion in a way to tell his story, which then he would then introduce or create almost like a ascension of one pope and the next character. And you basically had this progression of the lead singer, the back band, and then they could actually trade out players because the band literally was like engulfed in like robes and different things. And the band over the last 10 years has really transformed and done different things. They've become huge. They were on Jimmy Fallon, which made me laugh hilariously because I'm like, and most of the lyrics, if you listen to them, you're like, oh, if you're Christian, you're not going to like this, even though it's a spoof. It's like a commentary. It's like, try to like, don't take this too serious, folks. We're having a fun time. It's Marilyn Manson. It's all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's not a scary dude. He's just a jerk of a guy, but he was trying to do some things. So but what really got me into this is when I watched the video for The Future is a Foreign Land. And this was an interesting video because it reminded me of like heavy metal, some of that interesting aesthetics, almost like there's a animated series that kind of had the same aesthetic back in the day, and it's really interesting
because Aeon Flux almost.
Kind of. It definitely has a weird view, almost like Archer-esque in a lot of ways sometimes too, but the sound is not how I expected it. I expected more hardcore, things like that, but the guy has kind of like a 70s vibe in a lot of ways. So it's definitely different. Kind of also even gives me more of it kind of gives me an Alice Cooper vibe too. So it's really interesting. So I appreciate it now. I don't know if I'm going to become a big Ghost fan, but I felt like I need to look into this. So I'm curious all the time. I don't want to be that old guy who says music was better when I was young, because I don't believe that. I just feel like music changes. And if you're not listening to more music, you're going to be stuck in your ways. So I appreciated this, and I was like informed, like, okay, cool. I've learned, and maybe I'll add them to a playlist and they'll just pop in and I'll hear something new. But it's an interesting thing.
Do you know what album this is from?
Good question. This came out 1 year ago, so I assume it says Mariana Cross right here, right now. So Satanized out now. Is that the album it's on? I don't really remember. I'd have to look into see. But yeah, I think they've got 6 albums out. And they are on their essentially 6th iteration of their imagery and what they're doing. The guy doesn't wear the Pope robes anymore. It kind of looks more like a lounge singer.
He looks like long hair Sting from the WCW.
Yeah, kind of gives off that vibe. And then when you see him without his mask, it's not like Kiss where you've never seen him without his mask. It's like you can see him, but his band you'll never see because he's like swaps them out and even talks about that. So he's very he's not trying to keep a veil of, secrecy about himself, but I appreciate it. And he's Scandinavian, so they're just not a group of people anyway. So, and it's funny to listen to him. So there you go. And he puts on his persona's like, okay, you're really putting out a weird, sexy vibe, like lounge singer vibe when you do your stuff. So it's a little
Why are you so sexy, Ghost Frontman?
Sexy Ghost Frontman. What are you doing? And you're putting out these videos with animation. And
Stupid sexy metal guy.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, so sexy. It's like Beavis and Butthead. Oh my God, he's so sexy. Oh, so girl. But I like the fact that they experiment in the videos too. People don't make videos anymore, but when they do, when they're doing something cool, I appreciate it. So that is Ghost. It was something I looked into. I'm glad I checked it out.
So, on the same vibe, for the past couple years, a buddy of mine who I play Monster Hunter with a lot. His name is Zodiac. I'll just say his tag rather than his name because I haven't gotten permission to use it. He's like 10 to 15 years younger than me, and or at least that's my picture of him. He has been guiding me through metal because metal is I love music. I follow it or at least I try and follow. I follow a lot less now, but I've been trying to learn things that I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on. And metal has always been a spot that I could use more. And through him, like, I've been basically talking with him as I go through each band's entire catalog. Ghost was one of those.
Okay.
While I find myself liking Ghost songs, I didn't really attach to them as a band.
Sure.
Not to say that like they're bad or anything, because that's
Like
not
a vibe versus
at some point I just like, this just isn't stimulating me at all. But recently I've been listening to a lot of the band Behemoth. I've listened to four albums of
How
theirs.
did I find this really quick, Matt? I found it. I pulled it up. A song.
Which one did you pull
video?
up?
Look, it's Lucifer Jan.
Yeah, they're from Poland, and they're also
There's
doing
V's where there probably shouldn't.
Yeah, they're also doing the church thing.
Oh yeah.
And you could also probably level the Kiss thing too.
Sure.
But so my while I have largely liked everything that I've listened to after the year 2001, I'm not sure I'm a fan of this band, but as someone who's on a metal journey, they're the album called Demigod specifically, and I don't want to say the name of the album before that, mainly because I don't remember what it is. But Demigod, which came out in like 2004, and the album before that, I'm gonna get you the title. It is. No, it is.
No, is that the band? I don't think it is, right?
No, that's not.
I was gonna say, I think that's somebody else performing.
That might be someone covering them, but
I was just trying to look for. Here we go. I've got a live version.
It's called Squash-cranberry-gorgonzola from 2002, and then Demigod from 2004.
Here we go. We've got a live performance of them in Sweden.
Yeah. So this band is interesting, and they're one of those on the metal journey that I'm on that, like, if I become a fan of, it'll be cool. But like Demigod specifically, I'm very glad I've listened to. Okay. It wasn't like hard to get through the album. It didn't really turn me off in any certain ways, but like, you get the double kick drum, you get the time changes, they have the death metal voice.
So we're talking about more of the
this is growling. And I think their riffs are very interesting, and if you listen to metal, even if you don't like it, you can see the talent on display, because these aren't just people. This isn't punk where they just picked up a guitar and they could just shred like that. Like these guys practice, they know what the hell they're doing, and they're very good at it. Just because they're very good at it doesn't always mean you're a fan. But this album and Squash-cranberry-gorgonzola are worth your time to listen to. As of right now, at this point in time, I prefer Squash-cranberry-gorgonzola, because that was the one where I'm like, from the opening, I was like, when I hear the name Behemoth, this is what I want them to sound like.
Associate with song. It's like there's a song in college, Fugazi.
Oh yeah, love Fugazi
band. But the only song I associate with is their biggest song, because I remember a college kid said, "Hey, you got to listen to the song." I'm like,
Waiting Room.
Yes, and I'm like, it's the song. So that's the song I know of them, and I haven't really looked into their other, but it's just a good association. Yeah. So I think that's important. Sometimes you don't have to get into a catalog of an artist. It just can be, you can have one good association, and that's good enough, because there's too much music to have to invest your time into that, because you'll never make your way through it.
But yeah, metal in general, I've become there's a band I discovered, I found earlier this year. I didn't discover them, but they're called Death. They existed from 87 to 2001. The lead singer has passed. May he rest in peace. they're the only metal band that sort of made the case for like why listening to metal is something worth it. And their catalog from Scream Bloody Gore, which is a title, to their final album, which I don't remember what it's called right now. It runs the gamut of metal before to metal then, and it kind of points towards the future in a lot of special
Mhm.
ways. And I think I said this on Bluesky. They were the first band in a long time that I listened to that immediately became one of my favorites. Like if I were to do a top 10, Death is in my top 10. I will recommend them. And then also speaking of old folks, Todd, Nas, remember him?
Wow. Oh yeah, yeah. I remember Nas and the controversies
Nas
and
and Jay-Z.
button heads, and we're talking
Oh
about
yeah.
old heads, and
Oh yeah.
where Jay-Z has become a mogul, Nas is just continuing
Not
at it.
Yeah, Nas has just kept rhyming, and
Yeah.
while he was in, I don't want to say the weeds because he's never been bad at rhyming.
No, but he's never been the guy
He's never been
that.
something that, like he's a hip hopper.
Yeah. Yeah.
His albums of late, his last, and I hate to say this way because it makes it seem like I'm trying to give you homework, but I'm not. His albums since I'm trying to pull it up. His album since like 2019, I think, maybe even later than that. He's on a streak of like 6 really good ones. So
Wow.
no, this started in 2020 with the first King's Disease album, which in 2021 he released the King Disease 2, and in
Mhm.
2023 he released the third one. All of those bangers on bangers on bangers, and it's really impressive to me that he's making hip hop sort of, I'll say it this way, and I mean it in jest and nothing but respect to Nas, but he's making it kind of it's okay for old people to rap because he's in his 50s.
I mean,
Like,
that's where we have to get to, right? If we want
yeah,
hip hop to be more than like a thing only for young people, kind of like we
yeah,
have rock and roll, we have people touring. And I mean, we do have that kind of like with like R&B. We are seeing that.
mm-hmm.
We have seen that with like the Spinners, things like that. Now we've got like I think it's Boys to Men and this other person and Tony
Yeah,
Braxton. They're touring now, and I'm like, oh god, they've been in it for 30 years. So I
mm-hmm.
think we have to just say it can't just be the cutting edge. It has to be like good music
Well,
can transfer and go on for a time,
I
unless
think,
you're saying sometimes maybe is of a time and that's okay.
I
I
mean,
think both is fine.
with the acts you mentioned, I think they are touring, and I say this with no disrespect to Mary J. Blige. Um, they're touring on either the adult contemporary circuit or the
Sure.
nostalgia
Yep.
circuit. Whereas, you know, Nas is still kind of showing that
He's got some edge.
he belongs in the same
He's not on the
conversation
pop
as,
charts. Yeah.
right. He belongs in the same conversation as really good rhymers doing it today. Do I
What was
think
his
that
first? What was his first big? Was it the crossover? I'm trying to remember what his first big. Uh, uh
his
you
first
know,
big album was in 1994? It was Illmatic,
that's what I'm talking about. It's like so you go back there, and it's like
and that's still like, I mean, when your first album is
yeah,
Illmatic, you could rest on your laurels for a career and be fine. The
yeah,
fact that
yeah,
he had, 3 really good ones, well, actually 4,
yeah.
5, 6 really good ones after that is impressive. But like now he's not having a midlife crisis. He's having a midlife resurrection. Um
Well, people start finding themselves at a certain age too.
Yeah, and then he has also released, it's the Three Kings Disease, but he's also released 3 Magic albums: Magic 1, Magic 2, Magic
Mhm.
3, and they are still it's still just a man who knows how to spit. And that's interesting in a genre that is predominantly like,
Yep.
if you are 26, you're almost too old.
Exactly. It's all about the next,
Yeah.
mixtape. It's the next,
Mhm.
diss track. It's whatever's coming up, and it's like Kendrick Lamar. He's getting
He's
known
he's
because
he's getting old, and
well,
like
exactly, and it's like how long can you carry on that like type of you got to always be in everybody's face versus just focus on the music, and then
Mhm.
where does it go after that? Yeah, so I
Exactly.
totally get it. So how does it come from a trend to something sustainable long term? So I totally get that. Hip hop is for me. I I struggle with trying to find the stuff that really connects with me.
Mhm.
'Cause as I listen and I attracted, my son was he likes Kendrick Lamar, but he's not, like, played and said, "Dad, play this track for me." He's not done that, so it's like I'm not getting the influence and finding the way, so but other things he has, so it's
Oh, I
interesting.
got you,
I'm
Todd.
glad he's
Just
into
hit
it.
me up. Just be like, "Hey, what hip hop you recommend?" I'll give you a couple.
Well, and it's funny, it's like I
I could
like
break it down
finding
by
things I love
era
Blue.
too.
I mean, I used to like what was it called? Chap rock, where it was like the British hip hop where they were like old school rapping, and I'm gonna see Matt, you'll love this. We have a Comic-Con coming in. The Epic Rap Battles of History is doing a
Oh,
concert at our Comic-Con. I'm going to it because I'm like,
good.
I got to see this. It's gonna
Those
be so
guys
much
are
fun.
good. Like
I
that's
know, and
it's
it's like it's
hard
so
to
much
do what
fun.
they do.
You know what? Doing anything sporadic, off the fly, a rap battle in a persona,
Mhm.
it just boggles my mind.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
So very good. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. I know we have more to talk about, but you know what? It's
Oh,
getting
I know.
late.
I got to hear about
You got
this
a young
food,
kid.
dude. I got to hear about the
Okay, let's
food.
let's talk about the best things we ate. So very quickly, I'm gonna share my screen. Matt, I'm always looking for Facebook is like my primary source for recipes now because if it just populates. It's for
Love
me,
it.
it's like the Onion articles, kids' photos, and recipes. That's
Mhm.
where I get my stuff.
Yeah.
So this recipe popped up, and I'm like, okay, I gotta try this. I'm looking for more veggies in my life, but I also want to be like good and fun.
Sure. Yeah.
So this recipe, I would say, with my family, which is just being me and my wife now, so we're cooking for two. But I will share recipes with my son since he's in an apartment is going to cook. So I found this recipe. It's like caramelized butternut squash with
Mhm.
gorgonzola and cranberry balsamic glaze. So for me, this recipe was amazing. I bought from Trader Joe's just pre-cubed squash. You put in the oven, you let it saute bake. It gets nice and squishy. Then you build up this balsamic with the cranberries. You let it cook. It's to like kind of like a nice thin layer, and then just kind of blend it together at the end of the day, and you're good to go. And you put the gorgonzola on there. I will say this: the gorgonzola is probably a bad choice. It's kind of stinky. It's not that great, especially next
Stinky
day when you
cheese is
keep.
the best cheese, man. What are
Well,
you
not
doing?
unless
What are
your
you
wife
doing?
is saying it's too much, Todd. So maybe a feta would work. It just
Yeah.
depends on what your tolerance is for a stench the next day. It's kind of like, is that sweaty sock? We were trying to determine what the scent was. I'm like, is it your, is it your, is it your
Waking
pho,
up in the morning,
or
it's
is
like,
it this?
what is that
Exact, a
smell?
little too funky. It's like when you can't identify it, you're like, oh, that's probably a bad thing. So I would say I think this recipe was a success. It took
Mhm.
about 30 minutes to roast the squash, but the
Okay.
fact that it was already pre-made by Trader Joe's, I just put it on there on a pan and put some olive oil, heated it. It was really good. I'm really trying to exceed my expectations within cooking and do new things. Trying to get more healthy things into the mix. And this was a win, but when you microwave it, it is stenchy, but it's still tasty.
See, I don't
So
know if I would
maybe,
have
yeah.
microwaved the cheese. That's
Well,
the
no, no,
only
no.
thing I wouldn't
Like
have.
the next day, like we
Oh,
didn't
okay.
finish. The problem is you got to heat it up somehow. So I'm like, am I going to put
Yeah.
it back in the oven? Fine. So I think the microwave, because before it was just going on warm, but
Mhm.
now that it's in it, so
Yeah.
maybe
No,
only
fair.
put enough on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Matt,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a guy trying to make
You're
good food.
exploring. You're exploring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I would say maybe feta would be a better option or
Maybe.
opportunity
That
for
yeah, I
this.
can see that
So there
because
you go. If you're not big into like blue cheese or gorgonzola, where there maybe is a little bit more funk to it, but funk is good. I like a funk. I just don't want
funk
it to
is
be
good.
funky. So great recipe. I would recommend try it if anybody's interested. I'll put the recipe link into the chat. So Matt, tell me what your best thing you ate this week.
So, my best thing I ate. So it's really hard for me to do this because my wife is a fantastic cook.
Yes.
Not like I I say this more to big her up than to brag about being able to eat her food because
Mhm.
when we first started getting serious, she started explaining to me like her dietary restrictions
Mhm.
and all of that. She has since before we had our son, she basically snuck going vegetarian on me.
Oh, okay.
Um because at one point I asked, I'm like, can we have chicken tonight? She's like, did you not realize that you've only been eating vegetables for the past like 4 months? And I'm like, wow, that explains it. So she was making like vegetarian meatloaf
Oh,
and
very good. If you don't
veg
notice, that's a good thing.
yeah, and she made a vegetarian like sausage or meatball sub
Mhm.
that looked like she had ordered it from a pizza shop here.
Wonderful. I
And
know
I
jackfruit can be used as like a
yeah,
protein.
like
It looks like things. Yeah, it's
yeah,
amazing how
so
many options you have
so
now.
I've learned that like don't always go impossible because that stuff can be like worse
Oh,
for you
sure.
the more you eat,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not bad to do it in moderation,
No.
just like anything. But she made a completely vegetarian shepherd's pie. The mashed potatoes was half mashed potatoes, half turnips. It was impossible
Ooh, turnips
beef.
are amazing. My wife does amazing turnips. I love turnips. I love root vegetables. Yeah.
The it was I think it wasn't impossible beef, it was beyond meat. Which was good, but she split that with lentils, which is a good protein source.
Sure.
And then there
Yep.
were peas, carrots,
Mhm.
mushrooms, and onions, and she made the gravy from scratch. Now, we're not complete vegetarian, like she doesn't eat complete vegetarians,
She
like
use like broth or something to help
we still
bulk
I
it
think
up.
she used veggie broth.
Sure. Yeah, that
Or
helps too.
maybe mushroom stock or something like that.
Sure.
She didn't use like a beef or a chicken stock.
Mhm.
But we do eat eggs and we do eat cheese.
So you're not vegan,
We're not vegan.
which
We're not
helps a
yeah,
lot. Yeah.
but but I think if we could find both good and healthy alternatives
Yeah.
to those, which you can find good ones, but they're not necessarily healthy. Um, we would probably be vegan in terms of like how she cooks, but we're not. And I didn't take a picture of it because frankly I was starving and just ate the hell
It's
out of it.
gone. Yeah, we
Um,
all have good intentions to say, "This is
yeah,
what it looked like after." I'm like, "Oh, I'm enjoying
I
this so
mean,
much."
I
There's not much
would,
to see.
I would create a podcast if my wife would get on a podcast with me just to talk about how she cooks because while I don't think she wouldn't be the type of person that would claim like she's Gordon Ramsay or anything like that, but she'd be like, well, here's what I do. And my favorite thing about her is I've never seen her look at a recipe.
That's amazing.
Like
You can eye it,
you
right? You
you
can
can
figure
you
out
can
yeah.
tell her what's in something. She's like, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna
Mhm.
try that. I'm gonna
Yep.
mess with this a little bit. Um, the only time she's ever used a recipe is when she's helped me make waffles because when you
You know
bake,
what? It's good to share with people so they know what to do.
yeah, when you bake, you have to use instructions. You can't just freestyle
Correct.
that
It's
bake.
not art, it's science.
I've
It's
watched a lot of
specific.
British Bake Off, and I know that once you start zhuzhing, you are never getting that Hollywood handshake. Um,
Matt, I do wanna say,
mhm.
if I would love to eat more vegetables if someone would make them for me. So the fact that you've got
Yeah.
somebody that can make amazing vegetables for you and make them amazing, I would say that is the problem. A lot of people just don't know how to prepare vegetables, don't have fresh stuff. So I think that is something if we could get some more, I guess, mind meld focus on preparing vegetables in a tasty way, we wouldn't be in a better spot. Because I love roasted vegetables. They're so good and they're so tender so well. A roasted carrot tastes
Mhm.
far better than a microwave carrot, as you
Yeah.
know.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
I'm guessing you grew up with steamed vegetables out of the can like I did, and it was dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, we would get like my mom grew a garden, so we would
Yeah.
get like
Oh,
squash,
okay, never
zucchini.
yeah, so
So we would
okay.
do that when it was of the time. But yeah, the
Mhm.
majority of the year, then you're like, What do you got? It's in a
Yeah.
bag that's frozen, and it's
Mhm.
going to be salty, or it's in a can. It's going to not taste. It's going to have a crunch. It's just going to be bad. So then it puts a connotation like vegetables are bad, which is just sad.
Yeah, I moved to Philly 22 years ago, and when I moved here, I did not like Brussels sprouts. Now Brussels sprouts are my
Oh,
favorite vegetable.
my
Uh,
wife convinced me on Brussels sprouts. She does like she makes them so the nastiness has gone away.
yeah.
There's
Cut
bacon
cut them in
involved
half,
though,
you
which I
see
think is
oh,
funny.
so, like, you
My
cut
wife
them in
does
half
bacon
and
in hers.
sear them, and then, like,
Yeah.
olive oil, it's oh, mwah, it's I
Yeah, you can because I think that punch or that thing about Brussels
bitter.
sprouts can be nasty. If you can just do some things, there's things to tweak
Mm,
it to get it right. My wife convinced me. My mom made them for me. They were horrible. I'm like, I hate this, mom.
yeah.
And she was just like, you know what? I never did it, but I want to make my kids happy. And it is what it is.
I had such a turnaround on Brussels sprouts that I actually thought, like, I might like asparagus. Still don't like asparagus. Asparagus
I
is
love a
garbage.
good roasted asparagus. I do.
I can't do it. It tastes like
But I'm the same with mushrooms.
it tastes like I'm biting into a salt lick. Like,
Yep.
it's overpowering. Anyway, the last thing we're going to talk about, I had some best news of the week. It is gaming news, but it's not video gaming. It is board gaming. And also, it is a quote unquote dead board game. So, you want to
Mm,
talk about servers dying? Imagine a company stops supporting the game they're putting out. How do you play it?
okay. I think I have a trailer here for this. So if I look it up, Guild this game, I will share
Guild
it and you tell
Ball.
me if it's accurate or not.
I will.
Does this look right?
Yeah. That
Okay, I'll
is,
put it on the background as we talk
I
about it.
think that is the Kickstarter trailer from
Yes, probably is.
2014. So
2014.
yeah,
Wow. Only 11 years ago.
so Guild Ball is made by the same people who made the Dark Souls board game. That's how I found them. And I was like, I don't know anything about board games. What else did this company make? I found this. It's board game soccer with fighting. And it is fun as hell. Like, there are miniatures involved, there's painting, but it's not required. People look at this and say, like, oh, it's kind of like not Warhammer. Um, no, this game is really cool because every single model, and there's like 200 of them in the game, doesn't come with 200 because they're all
No.
spread across different teams. But
Mhm.
it is a board game soccer game that has where each team is themed after a medieval guild. So there are butchers, alchemists,
Fisherman,
fishermen,
apparently.
fishermen, blacksmiths, cooks, lamplighters, shepherds, farmers, masons. And recently, and this I posted this in your Discord, and you were like, I'm scared. They've announced a new team, the Lumberjacks. Now, in 2020, in 2021, 2020, it might have been 2020, late 2020, the Steam Forged, the company, announced that they were stopping supporting. There's
Wow.
there's several reasons for this, but you know, they said it was the community that did it because the community started hosting tournaments all over the place, and they tried to posture that the competitive folks ruined it, and I patently disagree. This is the only one of these games I've ever played. It's the only one I've wanted to be good at. It's the only one I've ever wanted to play in one of those tournaments in.
Mhm.
um but so I immediately, like, ceased playing at that point. I'm like, okay, you're mad. Even though I never got to be competitive, you took my shot. Like that,
Sure.
F off. Anyway, last year, Steam Forged announced they were going to start thinking about possibly supporting Guild Ball again. They acknowledged the community project, which started
Oh,
as
nice.
the game was discontinued.
Yeah, sure.
They kept tournaments going both online and in person. They kept making balance changes to the game. They even released their own guild, and that's the Lamplighters. This game is special. It's really fun. I think if you were to sit down and play your first game, it's going to take 2.5, 3 hours. That's a long
Mhm.
time. I get it.
Sure.
But even if you don't finish that first game, you've at least figured out how turns work. You've figured out how to
Sure.
score. You figured out how to set up things based on the cards and your team that you have.
So
Go ahead.
I'm just looking at what they're doing. He's got a tool and picks up a guy, and I'm so confused.
So it's most games like this is under the skirmish game
So
category.
if you're watching on YouTube right now, we're seeing a two people playing a game of Guild Ball right now, and this is from a year ago, and it's the Order versus Fishermen, and you're just
the
seeing,
Order
like,
is actually my
dice
team.
thrown.
That's my team.
Yeah, dice is happening, and then you
Mhm.
see, like, the players on the board, and it looks like a soccer field.
Yep.
It's condensed, and then but
Mhm.
I saw this guy use a tool, like a
He
clear blue thing, and did something.
used a ruler essentially. That's what
Which
that
I
is.
was not sure what he was doing, so I'm like, I wasn't sure if there's gonna be, like, some action where, like, there's games where you actually, like, use some action where, like, clicking and flicking, and is that involved in the game, or is it all
So
just movements
it's movement and
based on
measurement.
dice? Okay,
And then but like there are different things you can do, like you could pass, and then you could do
sure.
actions on whether or not you
There
land
you
that
go. There's
pass and
there's
things
right
like
now we're
this.
seeing rulers and
See, like
things, crazy things.
what's happening right now is the Order player for YouTube. It's the guy with purple bases. He's basically trying to go for goal. The Order is a very
Got it.
mobile, fast team. That's why I love
Okay.
them.
And
So
they're
he's
lined up almost like a goal line defense of soccer.
he's
Yeah.
going on his first goal run.
Yeah. Mhm.
But so fishermen also are a run and gun team. Their captain Shark loves to score goals. He's basically, if you put Shark on the table, you kind of have to really try hard to fail
Sure.
scoring a goal. But this game is really cool. If you are interested in playing, you can play online for free. You can have access to any of the existing models for free. And
When you say online, are you,
so
like, logging into a
when
website or Steam, or how's it going?
there are two ways you can play. There's an online module which is similar to tabletop simulator
Yeah.
called Vassal.
Sure.
That's an install on your PC, or you can
Okay.
just go to wartable.com. That's a website. You might have to log in with the overall ranking system that is associated
Sure.
with Guild Ball, but like that would be one of those things. I'm in Todd's Discord. If you had any curiosity about this, I will talk your ear off. Just ask me. I will. But this community that I have come back to is probably the least toxic community I've
Sure.
ever been involved with games wise.
They can't get rid of anybody, Matt. They need everybody they can get,
Well,
right?
no, it's not just that. They were like this before.
Okay. That's awesome.
And that's
Good.
like the people I played with locally to me were not good teachers of this game. But when I went online, everybody wanted you to do something cool just so you could see
The
yourself
Sherpas,
doing
right? Those
just
people
so,
that bring us along.
yeah, they're like it's like you're trying to teach your son how to play
Yes.
a game or do a thing, and you want him to do it, so you're being the most encouraging.
Raise all
Yeah.
vessels together so we can all make this game better.
And then my goal of playing in a tournament was met about 3 months ago when I played in an online tournament for the first time. And I talked to the person who runs the community project. I reached out to him and I said, I need to thank you because I realized a goal today. I played a Guild Ball tournament. I had always wanted to back then, and I'm finally doing it now. Thank you. And he was like, I haven't gotten a message like that in a very long and ever. I think.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Giving people thanks is something we need to do more of.
And the guy I played, like I was Butchers in this tournament. The guy I was playing was Brewers, and the guy I played was ranked number 3 in the world.
Whoa.
I scored a goal, which is cool. I got my 4 points, and then he proceeded to
goals worth 4.
Yeah, goals worth 4. Okay. A takeout is worth 2. So you can take someone's hit points down to 0, and that's 2 points for you.
Okay.
But he essentially dismantled me after that. but it was one of those things. He didn't realize how much I love this game because I was actually cheering him on. I'm like, yeah, do it.
It's watching the beauty of the game.
I'm just watching all of this cool stuff happen. And then now when I started playing tournaments here, and I'm not good, I've won one game since I've been back. And that's not counting the times where other players had to forfeit because of scheduling conflicts or whatever. But when I started playing, I started just rolling a D20 to figure out which guild I was going to use because there's 19 teams. And the second one, I actually got Order, and I've stayed playing them because I enjoyed playing them that tournament so much. They're really fun, and each team has its own bit of shenanigans, but the essential part that you need to know is if you wanted to try it, you can try it for free. If you want to buy a box, you can buy a box that has everything you need to play. It has 2 teams, 2 sets of widgets for measuring ball, enough influence tokens, everything you need. The only problem is it's only brewers and it's only masons. Yeah. The reason it's those 2 teams is because those are 2 of the easiest teams to learn. They're not necessarily the easiest teams to master. Yeah. This game has a low skill floor. It's a very sleek roll set, even though it looks like a lot if you've not played tabletop games. But once you get the first couple of turns, and when I say a turn, it's each team has gone. So essentially what you're seeing on screen is they're taking turns with each little player going. It's like activate. So each player has to activate on each team for a turn to be over. Once you get that sequence down, if you are not in, you're probably there's two possibilities. You have a bad teacher that's not letting you try things, or it might just not be for you. However, even people that don't like soccer love this game.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I did not know this thing existed before Matt talked about it. He has mentioned this in the Discord. I'm like, yes, I am scared because the world of tabletop gaming and everything, it's a huge interest for a lot of people, but there's the barrier of scaredness of like going into something new, but
the best things about Guild Ball, I will tell you right now, the best things.
Yeah, sure.
Each team is a box of 6 models. If you want, you can paint them. You do not have to.
Sure.
Also, getting into Warhammer, that can be $1,000 before you've even played a game. Guild Ball's like 40. And that's I think it's like you could buy the kickoff box, which is like 70, or you can buy 2 teams, 2 full teams, and a play mat, and then use your own measuring stuff, your own proxy stuff for tokens or whatever. And I think it's about $100 because there are minor guilds, major guilds, is a lot of weeds. It's the cheapest one of these to get into for me, and it's also the most accessible. I will paint mine, but my favorite thing is I can go to a tournament at a local game store, which I've helped put on a couple, and I can just bring the models out of the box. If you have metal ones, you will have to do some assembly, but there are plastic ones that are still kicking around. You can find them, and those you just set on the table.
This is amazing, Mark. Matt, I never expected you to be in some type of gaming like that, which means that these games are for everybody. And not for everybody, but they can be for everybody, but maybe not for you. So if you have a local game shop in your area, check it out. Ask about this game. I just got a new comic book shop which has gaming a mile from my house. They may have this, but there's a lot of resources, and the fact that we have Matt in our community is amazing, and he can help you find out more about this and maybe some ways to connect.
So last thing I'm going to say, Todd, is I'm going to be visiting my sister in January.
Oh,
I can teach you this game.
Hopefully it's after like the third week in January? Because I might be not here.
Well, I will. I mean, I haven't started making arrangements yet, but now that I know, I will make sure you are around.
Let's talk. Let's talk. That would be amazing. Well, excellent, Matt. This has been amazing. And folks, the great part about this show, it's all about the best things this week, which can mean anything. So we had more things we could have talked about, but you know what? We wanted to keep this short, and we went 90 minutes, so it kind of went longer than normal. When I did this by myself, it went 60 minutes. So this can go anywhere. But the hopefully thing is you get to hear about awesome things that we love that are the best things this week. So with that, Matt, tell people where they can find you and talk to you about the things you talked about on this episode.
So you can find me 2 places on the internet other than Discord. I am in the Fandom Foundry Discord. Chat me up, infinite_rewind. I will talk your ear off and I will blow up your screen about any number of things. But Bluesky, infinite-rewind, and Instagram, infinite_rewind. And then my podcast, Freereeling It. It's available everywhere. We don't do YouTube because we don't do a video call. So yeah, Freereeling It is a lot of fun. It's I think if there are 2 things I know more than video games about, or more about than video games, it's music and movies in that order. And yet everyone always asks me to be on video game podcasts.
And that's great, because video games is just one small.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love, to hear people that maybe only talk about video games talk about other things. So, excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm glad that we've been able to find this relationship where we can just talk about anything and have a good time. Can go from sports to whatever, kids. Yeah, we have a great time.
Yeah.
And we will talk more, and you can guarantee that. So for our podcast at the Fandom Foundry, on both the Instagram and the Bluesky, find us there. Myself, I'm at Todd Oxtra or in T Oxtra on the different socials, but that's not as important as this network, because we do some awesome stuff. And we're also on YouTube, where you can see our beautiful faces, the things we're talking about at the Fandom Foundry. You can also check out our website, fandomfoundry.com. And we would hope you check us out. We're also on all the things podcasting that you can find. Please rate us. We'd love to hear people what they say. And then if you want to follow us on YouTube, just give us a comment. Tell you what you liked about the podcast. So with that, I want to say it's been amazing. Thank you so much, Matt. And you know what? Why we do this is because we want to make the world a little bit brighter, and we want to know what we can do to help you understand how your week can be the best week ever. So good night and good luck.